Alright guys, so today we're going to be looking at adding fractions. One thing that I do have different than yesterday is that I have some mixed numbers. Right? And I call it mixed numbers because it's a whole number in a fraction. And then I have some that are improper fractions, like the second one. And call it improper because the bigger numbers are up. Right? So before we start adding and subtracting them, we have to make both of them improper fractions. The way I'm going to make the first one an improper fraction, I'm going to write the 6 at the bottom, because there's a 6 at the bottom, and on the top, I'm going to call this 25. The way I came out with the 25, I multiplied the 4 times 6, and then I added it to the top. Right, 4 times 6 is 24, plus the 1 on top, that's how I came out with the 25. Alright, so 25 over 6, plus 11 over 6. Yesterday we learned that the denominator is the same. We just copy it. How much is 25 plus 11? 36. I have an improper fraction, right? The bigger numbers on top. So we have to divide. 36 divided by 6. How many times is 6 going to 36? 6 times. I know 6 times 6 is 36. There's no remainder. So then there is no fraction. If there's a remainder, we put in a fraction. Eric. Thank you. Alright, let's take a look at question number 2. So I'm going to write 4 over 5 for the first fraction. For the second fraction, I'm going to write a 5 at the bottom. And on the top, I'm going to write 7. Once again, the way I came out with the 7, I multiplied 1 times 5, and then I added it to the top. So that's how I came out with the 7. So I know I have to copy the 5 from the bottom. How much is 4 minus 7? Negative 3. This is not an improper fraction. If you notice, the bigger numbers at the bottom, so we're good. Right? If it's an improper fraction, like number 1, the bigger numbers on the top, that's when we do the division thing. When it's not improper, like number 2, you're fine. Just make sure you simplify your fractions if you can. Let's take a look at question number 3. For the first fraction, I have to put a 2 at the bottom. What do I write on top? 5. Thank you. Then I'm going to write a plus sign. Because remember, 2 negative signs together make a plus sign. So that's why I'm going to write plus, and then 3 over 2. I know I copied the 2 from the bottom. How much is 5 plus 3? 8. Have an improper fraction, so let me divide. 8 divided by 2. 4. I know 4 times 2 is 8. There's no remainder, so there is no fraction. Looking at question number 4. For the first fraction, I write a 3 at the bottom. What do I write on top? 8. Remember, we go 2 times 3 and add it to the top. Then I'm going to write plus. You guys notice 2 negative signs make a plus sign. For the second fraction, I write a 3 at the bottom. What do I write on top? 4. So I know I copy the 3 at the bottom. How much is 8 plus 4? 12. I have an improper fraction, so let me go 12 divided by 3. So how many times? 4. 4 times 3 is 12. There's no remainder, so there is no fraction. Simple. Right, let me look for a question that has a mixed numbers and answer. Alright, let me take a look. Skip a little more. Alright, let me take a look at number 10. Looking at number 10, for the first fraction, I have to copy the 5 at the bottom. What do I have on top? 11. Good. Then I'm going to write plus, because remember 2 negative signs together make a plus sign. For the second fraction, I have a 5 at the bottom. What do I have on top? 7. So let me copy the 5 at the bottom. 18 over 5. Good. So let me write 18 divided by 5. up here. How many times does 5 go into 18? 3 times. I know 3 times 5 is 15, so my remainder is 3. So my fraction will be 3 over 5. The 3, the fraction, comes from the remainder. 3 over 5. If there's a remainder, there is a fraction. Alright, so we do this up until 20. Any questions up until 20? Huh? Which one? 9? Alright, we have 9 there. So for the first fraction, we write the 7 at the bottom. What should we have on top? 25. Let me write a negative 25, just to not forget the negative sign. Then I have plus, for the second one, I have a 7 at the bottom. What do I have on top? 24. So I know I copy the 7 at the bottom. How much is negative 25 plus 24? Negative 1. I don't have an improper fraction, so I'm good. Remember, when the signs are different, like our case, we subtract them and keep the sign of the larger. So that's why it's negative 1. Alright, any other questions for the first 20? Yes. Number 5. Alright, let's take a look at number 5. So we copy the 7 from the bottom. Right, they're all improper to begin with, so I don't have to change them. How much is negative 11? Okay, because I'm not forgetting the sign. How much is negative 11 plus 11? 0. Yeah. 0 divided by anything is what? 0. Okay. Any other question for the first 20? Alright, let's take a look at number 21. The difference of 21 is that I have 3 fractions. So for the first number, the first fraction, let me call this negative 1 over 7. Keep in mind I brought the negative to the top just so I don't forget it. So negative 1 over 7 minus the second fraction. I have a 7 at the bottom. What do I have on top? 13. Thank you. And then minus, right, because when there's a positive and negative signs are different, I put a minus sign. I have a 2, but you notice I'm dealing with fractions. I want to write a 2 as a fraction. I know I want a 7 at the bottom, so that way they're all the same. How much is 7 times 2? 14. So my 2, I'm going to write it as a fraction, 14 over 7, right? 14 over 7 is 2, right? So I just wrote the 14 over, I wrote my 2 as a fraction, just so we deal with fractions only. And I know I have to copy the 7 at the bottom. Looking at the first two numbers, how much is negative 1 minus 13? Negative 14. Negative 14 minus 14? Negative 14 minus, what is negative 28? Negative 28. Alright, so let me ignore the negative sign for a minute. Let me just deal with 28 over 7. How many times? 4? We know that 4 times 7 is 28. There's no remainder. Now let me not forget my negative sign. So my answer is negative 4. I said let me forget the negative sign for a minute, then I brought it back. So don't forget your negative sign on your answer. In this case, it's negative 4. Let's take a look at question number 22. The first fraction is 3 over 2. The second fraction is plus 1 over 2. And the last fraction is minus what? 5 over 2. Good. So we know we copy the 2 from the bottom. Look at little by little. How much is 3 plus 1? 4. 4 minus 5? Negative 1. That's not an improper fraction, so we don't have to do the division, right? Remember, I call it improper when the bigger number's on top. This is not improper, so we're good. We don't have to do the division. Just make sure your fractions are simplified. What I mean with simplify, we have like 4 over 10, call it 2 over 5. Right? Simplify your fractions. There's a couple that you should be able to simplify. Any questions? 26. Alright, the first fraction, I have a 4 at the bottom. What do we have on top?
Negative 7 over 4.
Negative 7 over 4. Good. Then we have a plus sign. Remember, two negative signs make a plus sign. There's a 4 at the bottom. What do we have on top?
Negative 15.
Positive 15. Yes. And then we have plus. The second one's a 4. What do we have on top? 15. Alright. So I know for my answer, I have to copy the 4 from the bottom. How much is negative 7 plus 15? Keep in mind the signs are different. 8. 8. Good. How much is 8 plus 15? 23. I have an improper fraction, so we have to divide. 23 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 23?
11.
5 times? I'll put the 5 in a minute. This thing froze for a minute. Processing. Once it comes back alive, there we go. Okay, so let me put my 5 there. 5 times 4 is 20. My remainder is 3. So I'm going to have 3 over 4. That's a fraction. Right, my remainder is 3. So that's why I said 3 over 4. Alright, any other questions? What was that? 28? Alright, let's take a look at 28. First fraction is 1 over 5. Minus, what's the second fraction? 7 over 5. Then I say plus, because remember two negative signs make a plus sign. Plus what? 8 over 5. Okay? So let's go little by little. I know how to copy the 5 from the bottom. How much is 1 minus 7? Negative 6. How much is negative 6 plus 8? 2. That's not improper, so we're good. Right, 2 over 5. Any other questions? 30. Okay. My first fraction was just 1 over 6. And I'm going to go minus, because the signs are different. What's the second fraction? 11 over 6. Good. Then minus, what's the third fraction? 17 over 6. Good. So we copy the 6 from the bottom. So let's go little by little. How much is 1 minus 11? Negative 10. How much is negative 10 minus 17? Negative 27. Good. So let me forget about the negative sign in a minute. I'm just going to say 27 divided by 6. How many times does 6 go into 27? 4 times. And if 4 times 6 is 24, my remainder is 3. But remember I said simplify fractions, so instead of going 3 over 6, let me call it 1 over 2. And don't forget your negative sign. So once again, my fraction, instead of being 3 over 6, I call it 1 over 2. Right? Simplify your fraction. Alright, any other questions?